Okay, in the previous video tutorial, we looked at just putting some basic polygon shapes into the 3D environment. So we looked at some cubes and some UV spheres. We put some cones in there and a cylinder and some toruses or donuts. So we just put those shapes in here. And like I said, those are a bit like Lego blocks. Those are like pre-made blocks that you can find up here on the Create tab. And you can just drop them in if you want them and need them. Now, what you tend to do, however, with Blender is you use these objects as a starting place for making more complex models. And that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to start looking at the sort of DNA of each of these objects, or in this case a cube, because that's the easiest one to understand. And we'll look at what they're made of and how by manipulating them you can make some far more complex models. So I'm just going to do exactly what I've said there. I'm going to go to the Create tab and I'm going to go Cube, and I'm going to pop a cube into my space. I'm going to just track in so we can see it clearly. And you can see at the moment, this is just, it's literally a cube. It is what it appears to be. It's like, if it was in the real world, it would be a block of wood. But it's actually made of lots of smaller items inside it. And that's what we're going to start looking at today. And we're going to look at vertices today. So how do we do this? This is done by, if you come down here to where it says Object Mode, and we just click on that, go up one, and change it to Edit Mode. And you'll see the cube is all selected. So I'm just going to go to Select and deselect all, or I can press A on the keyboard. Now, you might notice, if I try and zoom in, on the corners of these cubes now, of the cube now, so I should say, there's a tiny, tiny little dot. Okay, and that's like a handle that you can pull and stretch. And we can do that straight away because in this mode that we've gone into now, at the bottom we have an option as to what we're going to select. And we're going to look at these three boxes in this video and the next two videos, but we're just going to stick with this first one here today. Okay, and you can obviously see that's a box with the little vertice, the corner selected, and that is very similar to what we've got here. And what we can then do is we can come up here and we can right click. So remember, it's right click, it's the opposite to what you might be used to in other programs. Come up to translate, and we can distort it around. So we can actually move that around. So if I do it again down here, so if I right click down here, translate, move it around. So you can see I can distort objects just by selecting on these corner pieces and moving them. And that is the very basic building block of what every object is built of. So if I just come back to Object Mode, so I can select the whole object and I'll delete it. Okay, and let's put in something more complicated. So let's put in a icosphere. Okay, just bring that up to 0, put that in the middle of the world, and you can see that all of these will be a vertice as well. So if I go to Edit Mode and select, deselect, then I've got one here that I can just select on, translate, and move it around. Select this one. Okay, so if I want another way of moving stuff is I can right click on it, then I can click on one of the arrows with the right mouse button. I can stretch stuff out. So you can see you can start making very complex and more organic shapes just by using the vertices. So in the next video we're going to move on to this cube down here, this option, which is putting the edges in. So we'll do that next.